girls, welcome to the GP support rally. Thanks to you everyone for coming out for your support. My name's Chance Hockey. I'll be the entertainment for this evening. I'm an original songwriter based out in Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to do some original songs for you guys. So we're going to do my first single that I released in Canadian country radio called Nightwalker. Hope you guys enjoy it. Here we go!
And it's an honor to be the MC here today. Okay, Grande Prairie, it's our turn to be heard. Let's give her. Oil and gas is the economic engine for Alberta and all of Canada. This title cannot be denied. Without our industry, each and every Canadian's life, quality of life is at stake. Every day I'm getting more and more frustrated with our industry being under attack. And here's why. Of the 6 top oil and gas producers, that includes the United States, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, and Canada. Which country has a higher work standards in the world? Canada! Who has the best resource development policies? Canada! Who has the highest environmental and conservation standards? Canada! Who has the highest regards to human rights? Canada! Who has the highest ethical standards? Canada! Who has the highest gender equality? Canada! And who has the highest Indigenous consultation and employment opportunities? Canada! Enough's enough. It's time to be heard. Build that pipe! up to us, the silent majority in Alberta and Canada, to start speaking up and defending our industry. Enough of these special interest groups protesting against our industry. The facts are that the world demand for all types of energy is increasing. We need it all. We need hydro. We need wind power. We need it all. This world continues to grow. The demand on energy is going nowhere but up, and oil and gas is a major player in that. We need it all, folks, and that's why we're here today. Before I start introducing our guest speakers, I got a couple housekeeping items. There's free t-shirts and buttons down here at this table, along with stickers. At this table here, they also take family pictures that can be attached to the form letters. Throughout the walkway coming up here, and all along here, we have form letters. We ask everybody to sign these form letters. I'm going to ask Candace to come up here this time and read the form letter.
Hi everyone. I just have to say I've never been so proud to be an Albertan as I am today. How about you guys? I want to thank you so much for coming out today. We really appreciate all your support. I just want to give a quick shout out to Heart Energy for the heat. Thank you, Heart. Okay. I had you guys come in and sign these letters. It was very quick. I don't think you guys got a chance to read it all, so this is what I wrote. To Justin Trudeau, I'm writing to you today as an Albertan respectfully requesting Bill C-69 to be suspended. The impacts of this legislation will be devastating to not only Alberta, but to our great country of ours, Canada. Are you taking notice yet? Every day that our resources are unable to go to market due to lack of pipeline infrastructure, we lose approximately $80 million. This is per day. Alberta and the rest of Canada miss out on the royalties of this revenue, and this money cannot be reinvested back into Canadian oil and gas industry to fund projects that provide us Albertans with job growth and stability. The social safety net that was built upon this industry's ability to provide these benefits will diminish, and we will all suffer no matter what gender, age, and ability, social and economic status we hold. Do we have your attention yet? Canadian oil and gas industry leads the world in ethics, environmental and safety regulations. Not only is it Canada's #1 export, but is also one of Canada's largest employers. For decades, we've welcomed workers from across the country with open arms and gave opportunities unavailable to Canadians back home. And at the same time, we contributed generously to those who stayed behind, could maintain a high standard of living. We need the rest of Canada to step up for Alberta like Alberta stepped up for Canada financially. Are you listening? We are proud, blue-collar workers. We are strong. We are standing up today for our livelihood, our families, and we are telling you, build that pipeline. Why don't we ask Mr. Trudeau, can he hear us yet? Can you hear us yet? Build that pipe. Build that pipe.
Thanks, Candace. A special thanks to the organizers at today's event. They've dedicated countless hours pulling this critical event together for the benefit of Grande, Prairie, Alberta, and Canada. I'd like to recognize Taylor Haworth, Chad Miller, Nicole Maltow, Jeff Nicole, Jarvie Dawson, Andy White, Brian Malcolm, Ryan Kursky, and Cole Murphy. I apologize if I missed anything, but these guys have done a phenomenal job this last couple of weeks. A big hand. Without any further ado, I would like to invite up our first speaker, Chris Workington. Chris is our voice in Ottawa. Chris is the MP. Chris is our MP for Grande Prairie Mackenzie riding. Chris was born and raised in the Grande Prairie area and spent the last several years supporting the Peace region in Ottawa. I've never met an individual so focused and doing the right thing for his ridings, Albertans and all of Canada. Welcome and thanks for being here today, Chris.
Thanks, Rob. I tell you guys, I go to Ottawa on a regular basis and I brag about the best riding of the country, the folks of the Peace Country, but I'll tell you today, I've never been more proud of the people that I represent when I look out here and see each and every one of you. This is an incredible thing to see people come from across the Peace Country to support not just the industry, but more importantly, the people that work in the industry, the men and women who go out day in and day out to build a stronger, more vibrant community for us to live in. But more importantly, I think it's important that we continue to send the message. We are not here standing in support of an industry. We're standing in support of the men and women that work in this industry, that benefit from this industry. And it's not just here in the Peace Country. It's across the province of Alberta, and it's across in every single province of this country. In every single province, there are jobs that are dependent on what we do here in the Peace Country. And I can tell you that we need to continue to send that message. And I tell you that there are people waking up in every single province of this country that are going to continue to say the same thing that we're going to start here today. And that's build that pipe, build that pipe, build that pipe, build that pipe. Now, folks, building pipelines has never been easy. I can tell you, having spent 10 years in a government that was supportive of the industry, I can tell you that we know all about standing up against foreign-funded interests that came to Canada to try to shut down the construction of pipeline. I know that it's difficult. As a matter of fact, we wouldn't have built the 4 pipelines that we did in the time that we were in office, creating the opportunity that it creates the capacity of over 2 million barrels per day, an increased capacity that we built. But I'll tell you that was never easy. I recognize that it's not easy. But I'll tell you that while there were foreign interests and while there were others that were coming to Canada to fight against our industry, what we at least had was we had governments that were supportive at the provincial and federal level. Today, what the challenge is not only do we have people that are coming and interests that are fighting the interests of Canada, here we also have governments that are fighting the interests of the industry and the people that work in the industry. Specifically, we have the federal government in Ottawa right now, as we speak, that are pushing through Bill C-69. Now, any of you that have ever looked at the Bill C-69 will recognize what everybody who has seen this bill will say. We have industry saying the same thing. We have economists saying the same thing. We have provincial premiers saying the same thing. This bill will ensure that there'll never be a pipeline proposed successfully and built in this country if this legislation passes. The money will continue to leave our country if this bill passes, folks. We need your support in stopping the no new pipeline Bill C-69. Today, I'm circulating petitions. There's petitions that folks with some yellow shirts are circulating, as well as some additional things. There's a petition that can be sent in. Please have your voices heard. I need all of you to work with me as we fight the federal government's intention to shut down all pipelines moving forward. Folks, let's build that pipe. 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 I've never been prouder than you folks. I'm thankful to be able to do the job that you asked me to do, and that's defend your interests. But I'm going to need every one of you to work with me to make sure that happens. This is a thing that starts here today, and it's going to continue until we stop Bill C-69, and that may require that we see a change in government to make that happen, and I need your support to do that. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Chris. Our next guest speaker today is Darren Phillips. Darren is our Minister of Economic Development and Trade for the NDP party here in Alberta. He was born and raised in Edmonton and knows the incredible contribution Alberta workers have made to our province and country. He's also served as Minister of Municipal Affairs and Minister of Service Alberta. Welcome, Darren.
Folks, let me begin by saying that Alberta is the economic engine of this country, and we need the federal government to wake up and recognize how Alberta contributes to everyone in this country. There is not a road, a bridge, a school, a hospital that doesn't owe something to the Alberta energy sector, and we need the Prime Minister to wake up to that. It's time that they start showing some respect to the economic engine and the driver of this country. We need eastern provinces to say no to foreign oil when we do it better than anyone on this planet. The people of Whistler need to tell the truth that they are using Alberta gas for their cars, for their petrochemical products, and they're using our oil, and it's time to smarten up. The fact of the matter is the world needs more Canadian energy and more energy produced in the Peace Country. Now, Alberta is not landlocked, because Canada is not landlocked. Canada is home to more coastline than any other country in the world. But you know what? We need to start acting like a country. That's why Trudeau's Bill C-69 and Bill 48 are not only ridiculous, they're insulting to every man and woman who works in our energy sector. We've had strong message for the federal government that they need to smarten up. I can tell you there is nothing more frustrating than watching the Prime Minister jump to help industries in central Canada. The sad reality is there has not been a new pipeline to the coast in over 60 years. This is a failure of the current federal government, but it's also a failure of previous governments of not getting new pipeline to the coast. This is absolutely critical. And we know we're losing $80 million a day. Folks, that's $8.5 billion Canadians have lost out, and we're subsidizing our friends to the south. Now, I can tell you there's a number of things that we've done because we're not just going to wait for the federal government. We took bold action by bringing in curtailment of our production, which had an instant increase in the price we're getting per barrel. Now, this is where I give a tip of the hat to Jason Kenney and Stephen Mandel for standing with us in curtailment. I have no problems giving kudos to those that come with good ideas, and we worked with them and we brought in curtailment. We've also introduced a medium-term plan. We're purchasing 7,000 rail cars, which will come online next year. Well, here's the thing, folks. The best way to transport oil is through a pipeline, but we're not going to wait. We're not going to wait. So we're taking action with rail cars. Pipelines are coming. Build that pipe. 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 The other thing we're doing is we're investing in jobs here in the province with value added, upgrading our resources. gas to plastics, through petrochemicals, through partial upgrading, through straddle plants. Folks, we are investing in our energy sector because we know that our energy sector is the backbone of this province. And when the Peace Country does well, Alberta does well. And when Alberta does well, Canada does well. The other thing that we're doing, you have asked for a long time for Highway 40 to be twinned going south to Grande Prairie. That's something that we need to do to keep you, our workers, safe as you travel that highway every day. And I'm proud to be part of a government that is twinning that highway to make sure that you get home safely every day to your families. In closing, I want to thank our organizers for inviting me here today. We stand with you, proud of our energy sector. We are the world's most responsible energy producer, and it's time for Ottawa to wake up and have our backs. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Our next guest speaker, I'm so proud that he was able to make it here today. I'd like to welcome Jason Kenney to speak next. Jason is a leader of the provincial opposition party here in Alberta, UPC. Jason has spent countless hours meeting residents and businesses across our province. He spends countless hours lobbying across Canada in support of our industry. I'm so proud to be able to say that Jason made time to be here with us today. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you to each and every one of you for standing up for what is right, for standing up for Canada, for standing up for ordinary working women and men who for too long have been without a voice. But today, by the thousands, people in Alberta's Peace Country are giving them a voice and are fighting back for what is right. Thank you to Wayne Drysdale and Todd Lowe and your local MLAs for their great work, and to Chris and Darren and everybody. But most importantly, give a huge, you know what, this wasn't organized by some lobby group. It wasn't organized by a big oil company or by a government or by a foreign-funded special interest. This was organized by ordinary working Albertans. Give a hand to all the volunteers who put this together. Folks, this is the fight for Canada. Make no mistake, Justin Trudeau vetoing Northern Gateway, killing Energy East, surrendering to Obama's veto of Keystone XL, his bungling of Trans Mountain, his No More Pipelines Law, Bill C-69, his tanker ban for Alberta Oil, Bill C-48, the court shutting down Trans Mountain and Keystone. All of these things have something in common. All of these things were the deliberate outcome of a foreign-funded campaign to defame this province, the working women and men of our energy industry, and to bottleneck Canadian resources. They have spent hundreds of millions of dollars from foreign sources to attack this country while allowing the Americans to double their energy production. They've done nothing to stop Venezuelan, Saudi, Russian, Iranian, or Qatari oil. They focused only on us with the highest ethical, human rights, labor, and environmental standards in the world. And today, and across this province, by the hundreds of thousands, we are saying to those foreign-funded special interests, enough is enough. We are fighting back. And that's why we need to fight like never before. We need a government that will challenge in court the bogus charitable status of the David Suzuki Foundation and these other foreign funded special interests. We need to support the vast majority of our First Nations who are pro-resource development, who want to move their people from poverty to prosperity. We need energy companies to do to groups like Greenpeace what Resolute Forest Products is doing, suing that organization Greenpeace for $300 million in damages for defaming responsible Canadian forestry practices. We need to put these foreign-funded special interests on the defensive, make them lawyer up, make them think before they lie about Canada. We need to make it clear to our friends in Canada, to the governments of Quebec and British Columbia, for example, that if they seek to block against our Constitution, our country's greatest export product, our energy, that there will be repercussions. And that's why I said 18 months ago that if the Mayor of Vancouver wants a carbon-free Vancouver by 2040, we could give him one by 2020. Permettez-moi s'adresser nos amis au Québec. Let me address our friends in Quebec. The vast majority of Quebecers are hard-working women and men who support our resource industries. They work in the forestry sector. They work in mining. They understand the people of the Peace Country. But they have political leadership that is saying it will take $13 billion in equalization money, largely from your industry, largely from this province. And now Justin Trudeau has given their premier a veto over an effort to revive Energy East. And so friends, let us be clear to our friends in Quebec. We Albertans are generous. We are proud to share some of our good fortune when times are good here and bad elsewhere. But all we ask for is basic fairness. Other parts of the country cannot benefit from our resources if they seek to block those resources. And that is what, do you agree? And that is why, if Justin Trudeau will not repeal his No More Pipelines law, if they will not guarantee us a coastal pipeline, if they will not give us a fair deal, I believe we Albertans should trigger binding constitutional negotiations over equalization through having a referendum on equalization. All we ask for, because I'll just close with this. This foreign-funded campaign, since it started, has seen global consumption of oil grow by 10%. American production double. They did nothing to stop a barrel from the OPEC dictatorships. They do nothing to stop OPEC oil from coming in by tanker to fuel Eastern and Central Canada. And so, friends, this is not just the fight of our lives, for our prosperity, for our schools and hospitals and way of life. This is a fight that matters for the world. We need more Canadian energy to displace dictator oil all around the world. Thank you for being here. Your voice counts. It matters. Don't feel isolated. We will do it again. We won't let Justin Trudeau shut down this province and its biggest industry. We will not let those foreign-funded special interests damage our way of life. We have an important role to play in providing energy for the rest of the world.
Wayne is very well respected at all levels of our government. Wayne brings a common sense approach to everything he does and is involved in. Grande Prairie has been very fortunate to have him as our voice supporting Northwest Alberta. Welcome, Wayne. Come on up.
Thanks, Rob, and wow, welcome everybody. Like Chris said, it's very proud for me to stand here and see all constituents from all over the Peace Country here. Oh, sorry about that. I guess we got to eat it. I'm so proud to see so many of my constituents from all over this Peace Country. families in this region depend on the oil and gas industries, and lots of them work in it. If they don't work in it, they depend on it, and it's so amazing to see this kind of a support to come out. I hope they can hear us in Ottawa. I'd also like to introduce my colleague Todd Lowen from Grande Prairie Smoky over there. And my two colleagues, candidates coming up in the next provincial election from Grande Prairie Wapiti, Travis Taves. And from the city of Grande Prairie, Tracy Allard. So a lot's been said today. I don't want to repeat it. Everybody's standing out in the cold, but everybody in this crowd gets it. We need that pipe built. We need to get our product to market. We need to stop these special interest groups. So glad that our leader, Jason Kenney, was here speaking ahead of me. This is our future, folks. That's why we're all here. This is what we're fighting those special interest groups for, the future of our country and our region and for these young people. So thanks everyone for sticking up, and like has been said, I was invited to meet the guys that were organizing this, and the one guy says, well, I'm tired of coming to work every day and complaining. I needed to do something. They're not sitting back quiet anymore. They want to do something, and they want Ottawa to hear us. And so thanks very much, and thanks for all of you guys for coming out and supporting it as well. I know we're going to get it done. We're resilient up here. There's a bright future in this country, and one way or the other, we'll get that pipe built. Build that pipe. Build that.
Our next speaker this afternoon is Cody Battershell. Cody is the founder of Canada Action. He's here today to speak about what he does at Canada Action and what the organization is all about. It's my pleasure at this time to introduce Cody.
Friends, it's truly an honor to be here with you today. This rally today is what Canada Action is all about. We are standing up and we are taking action. If we don't do that, no one else is coming to save us. I commend every single person here for wearing a shirt, for being outspoken, and making sure that your friends and family across the country know no one in the world produces oil and gas better than the people here today. And we have everything to be proud of. Global oil and gas demand is growing, and if we don't support our own industry, we are going to continue to see jobs and environmental issues take place in other countries around the world that we have better standards compared to. So, very quickly, you can go on our website, canadaaction.ca. We want to wrap your truck. We want to send you a t-shirt. We want to make sure you have free stickers. And it's all it takes is 5 minutes a couple times a week for us online and offline to make sure that our friends and family outside of Alberta know Alberta oil is the best in the world and we have everything to be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you, Cody. Our next guest speaker is Lionel Robbins. Lionel is born and raised here in northern Alberta and comes from a 3-generation oil and gas family. Besides carrying on the family business of oil field hauling, he is also heavily involved in our local retail industry. As CEO of Revolution Auto Group, he manages 6 locally owned auto dealerships within the Peace Country, along with other partnerships in rental, hotels, and real estate holding. Lionel is an active community supporter and sits on the STARS Air Ambulance Board as the chair of the Foundation Committee. Along with this is past role as chair of the 2018 Summer Games right here in Grande Prairie. Welcome, Lionel.
All right. Any local businessmen in the crowd or business ladies? Just a few, right? I think we have the highest percentage of independent business people in the world, so... if you ask most business people what the worst times are for them, they would say when the country is in recession. But I'd argue that's the second worst time for us. When we're in the middle of a recession, as strong and enterprising Albertans, we adapt. We adjust our spending habits, our lives, and we go into survival mode. We figure out what to do with the dollars we have while waiting for the ultimate period to come when we have the dollars we want. The worst time for all of us is when we're in a period of extreme uncertainty, a period where even the smartest economic forecasters can't begin to determine what the short-medium plans are. Those numbers mean nothing if we can't be certain what our future is. Bill C-69 would spell the end of those times when many of our primary economic drivers, specifically oil and gas, can realistically make any kind of short or long-term plans. We're going to enter the period of if. So a large company used to say, we'll spend this much money over this period of time and generate this many $1 billion and create this many jobs and have security for all of us, the local business owners and everyone. Now that ends with, as long as a small handful of strangers living thousands of kilometers away don't decide that the livelihood of a few million Canadians is less important than their self-involved and warped righteousness. And so on the back of these ifs, these companies seek greener pastures, and we can't fault them. They have responsibilities of their own. They got mouths to feed with mortgage payments and other basic needs. So they find areas of the world that are open and receptive to economic growth. Ones that recognize that you can have a focus on our future generations and protecting the world they will live in, but not at the expense of ruining the lives of the ones who live in the world right now. By all means, we all should be held to task as collective stewards of our country and our planet. But C-69 doesn't accomplish that. It puts that stewardship into not only a small number of hands, but also into a collective that doesn't represent the hardworking people of our province. And so you see why I say a recession is the second worst period for us. When we're in a recession, we adjust our patterns and behaviors and we deal with it because we're Albertans. But how do you adjust your patterns and behaviors to a situation that you don't even know is? As a businessman, that's my worst scenario. Now it's not about somebody consuming less. It's about people being so afraid of their livelihoods they don't consume at all. That's the path that closes local businesses like mine and all of yours and forces the big stores and businesses to migrate somewhere else, to other towns and cities. The uncertainty of our future is worse than already knowing the future isn't looking that great. We're Albertans. We take any situation, we make the best of it. But how does that work if we have no idea what the situation is? Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I know I don't need to encourage anyone to sign that nice letter that Candace wrote, but I encourage everyone to continue this peaceful but aggressive protest. You need to bombard Ottawa. You need to tell them that they don't speak for all the people, because all the people are pissed and we're not going to let them do it to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Lionel. Our next guest speaker is Chad Miller. Chad lives here in Grande Prairie. He's the founder of Oilfield Dads. This organization started in 2015 as a support group to oilfield families who have lost their job and are willing to share their stories. They work hard with each other in the organization to find more employment for these individuals who are out of work. I'd like to welcome Chad up.
Hello, Grande Prairie. I want to thank you all for coming out here. I just got a little bit on my phone here. My name is Chad Miller. I'm an oilfield dad. I'm a Métis person. I'm an Albertan, but most importantly, I'm Canadian. And what? This industry isn't just made up of dads. It's made up of moms, wives, brothers, sisters, friends. We work in this industry to make a family future for our future generations coming up. We try to save and put money away for our families and our children here so we can live a better life and they can live a better life. I want to say thank you to our organizers here today as well for coming. I want to give the volunteers and everybody that's helped to make this rally come together. This is huge. Please give them a round of applause again. also want to say thank you to my wife as well, because she is the one that's been behind me, as so many of our spouses are in this downturn. This what went from a recession turned depression. From 2015 here, we've seen a lot happen from the oil crash. And it wasn't because of the government we know, but it is because of the government that we have that didn't do anything to help us put us in a better position to carry us through. I grew up on a farm outside of Rocky Mountain House. I came up here to Grande Prairie to work, live. I have family and friends here. We work in this industry. We are lean on each other for support. Thank you. We put money away for better and rainy days is what we do. I got so much here I want to say, so much emotion in me that I can't come to fathom here. This is awesome. I love this crowd. I'm proud to be a Canadian. I'm proud to be in the oil and gas industry, guys. You know, this tanker ban, a C-48, is another bill that we got to stand against as well, not only just C-69, because if we can't get oil and gas to the coast, we can't even bring it out. So build that pipe, guys. We need change, and 2019 is coming fast, and change is going to come. Thank you.
Build that pipe. 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 Our next speaker here this afternoon is a fellow by the name of Bernard Hancock. Bernard is a proud Albertan, forever a roughneck, and an advocate for working class people everywhere. He's been raising awareness and support for the oil patch for the past 2.5 years and envision Alberta's best days yet ahead. A long-time gypsy rigger who has called GP home for a number of years. Bernard's experience speaks to his hardships. Welcome, Bernard. Bernard's tied up. We're going to go one more speaker. I'd like to welcome up Russell Samways. Russell moved to Grande Prairie in 2015. He's been working in the oil field since the winter of 2006. He and his wife own a small oil field service company. They have an 11-year-old girl who loves to play hockey and is an accomplished track and field athlete. They live out in the country and have a quaint little hobby farm. He was laid off last month from the oil field service company he was worked for. Welcome, Chad. Russell.
That's all right. I don't mind if you get my name wrong. I'm just a regular guy. I've worked in the patch for quite a while. I came here from Newfoundland. My father was an electrician. He was highly involved in politics because he felt as though it was a shame that he had to move away all the time to get work. Right now, my parents had 3 sons. I live in Alberta, my youngest brother lives in Alberta, and my middle brother lives in Kingston, Ontario. We had to move because we wanted to have a family in Newfoundland, but we just couldn't. It wasn't the right type of place where your work is as stable as it was in Alberta. So we came to Alberta to eke out a living and an existence. Right now I'd like to talk about community. The word community is a term that transcends a lot of things. Transcends time, transcends money, race, status, religion, color, job title, everything. All of us here, right now, we are a community. We're here for one another. We're here to support each other, whether it's business, buying things. We got to keep everything going, guys. Our morale is down right now. There's no doubt about it. But that doesn't mean that we have to be down. You know, we're not defeated. We're proud Albertans. We help each other out. My next door neighbor has been working in the oil field with pipelines for about 35 years. He's an expert. I said to him the other day, I said, why can't I call you an expert in what you do? I said, I can. You are an expert. And he goes out every single day, and his family has benefited from those rewards, but he doesn't feel like he's getting by the way that he should. 35 years, day in, day out, going out there and working for his family. So I look at it this way, I go to work in the oil field, and sometimes you're out there in the cold and in the rain and the sleet and the mud, and we put our chains on. And every time I got to get out there and put chains on those wheels, I curse it sometimes, because I get out there and I'm soaking wet and I'm cold. But it's those chains that get me to work safely. And it's those chains that get me there. But I look at this like mud and sleet and snow. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's something that we got to do. Yeah! So, right now we got a government that kind of doesn't do what we want it to do. But I mean, everything in the diplomatic process is set up. All you got to do is go to a constituency office and you can see it. We got our people here representing us now. The thing is we collectively have a voice, and we give our voice to these people, and they take our voice to Parliament or the legislature or town council or wherever it is. But the thing is we fail these people sometimes. It's only because of now when we feel that we're threatened, that we're pissed off, that we're, where's the next dollar going to come from? It's now that we all get together. It's now that our voice is now being heard. And now we have these people coming out to represent us. This is what we need to do, folks. Where do we go from here? When we go home now, we sit down, watch TV, and we reflect on what happened that day. And we go to work tomorrow, or in my case, I don't go to work tomorrow. What do? We got to do something more than this. We got to keep this going. All this positive energy, all of this, everything, all of us right here now, we got to keep this going, guys. Thanks a lot, Rob. I appreciate you having me. Yeah. All right. So it's been a few months since I've been back, or a few hours since I've been back in GP, but I'm really glad to be back. Over the last 2.5 years, I've been a lot of places across this country, speaking to the importance of Canada's oil and gas industry, not just for Alberta, not just for the country as a whole, but for individuals and their families. And today is special because it's like I have a home ice advantage here right now. Because I'm speaking to people just like me. I'm right in the heart of oil country, Swan City, Grande, Prairie. And instead of bureaucrats or regulatory boards or politicians or conservative activists or the media or corporate oil and gas, I'm speaking to the guys who put their coveralls on in the morning and take their showers in the evening. I'm speaking to the people who do the hard work at getting this wonderful, rich resource out of the ground. I'm speaking to Roughneck Nation. And I want to make some things clear today about where we've been, where we're going, and where we stand here now. I moved to Grande Prairie in the fall of 2008. I got hired on with Hurley Well Service, working on rod rigs. Shout out to Daryl and Sharon if you're here. When I showed up, Grande Prairie looked a lot different than it did today. First time I visited in the mid-2000s, Walmart off the bypass was just a farmer's field. And the York Hotel was where it was at. I've grown up with this town. I bought my first pair of cowboy boots at Kenny's. I rode my first two-stroke quad down at the dunes. And I woke up every morning to that voice, which is Kevin Albers, every morning. And I had my rig crew laughing at me when they first met me, picking me up at the Rotary because I didn't have enough money for a place to stay. I've seen this town in the good times and the bad. I've lived here when it was ranked the best town for small business in Canada, but I've also lived here when it was ranked number 1 for the highest violent crime rate in this country for 2 years running. Thankfully, North Battleford's taken the title from us, and now even Red Deer's beaten us. And these past few years have not been easy. This industry, it offers so much opportunity, and for people like me, it's really the only way I know how to make a decent check. This job gave me dignity and a real feeling of accomplishment.
I was troubled in my teens and my early 20s, and it wasn't until I came to the patch that I was taught how to be a man. It's the one job I'd go out of my way to tell people I did because I was proud of it, and that's the only job I've ever been able to say that. And what's cool about our industry is everyone starts at the bottom, in the same spot, and how far you go is entirely on how hard you work. And on a service rig, every single person has been a roughneck. Whether you're the guy going up the stick in the morning or the guy who signs the tower ticket at the end of the day. Being a roughneck, it never leaves you. It's not just a job, it's a lifestyle, and it's a frame of mind. And it bleeds over into your attitude, your work ethic, and your expectations. Even at this super slack concrete cutting job I'm working down in Vancouver right now, anytime I stand there not doing anything, all of a sudden I get paranoid thinking, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. And this roughneck nation, it extends from coast to coast. I want to ask all you people here today a question. How many of you were not born in Alberta, but made a life here and are proud to call Alberta home? Put up your hand. We aren't just a monumental cash cow for the government. We provide opportunities for families across the country. It puts chicken in the pot in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. It puts a roast in the oven in Miramichi, New Brunswick. It puts tortilla on the fork in Grande, Quebec. And it puts tofu on the table in Toronto and Vancouver. And for most of the proud men and women here today, it feeds your families right here in beautiful Swan City, Grande Prairie, Alberta. God's country, making sacrifices so your kids can have it better than you had it. But does it look, as we're closing out 2018 here in northern Alberta, like things are getting better or worse for your children's future? Certainly not due to this discredited term, social license. Social license, that just means doing whatever a government wants to do that's politically convenient. It's a cop-out, and it's a term that has no place in any civilized country governed by a constitution and the rule of law. Okay, guys, why does Alberta's oil and gas industry always get poked in the eye when we're operating at the highest environmental standards? We're the most ethical, and we're contributing more to government revenue than any other industry sector. In 2014, the Canadian oil and gas industry contributed more than double what the Canadian auto industry contributed to our coffers. But look, hundreds of thousands of Albertans are out of work for like 3-4 years now? 2,500 guys in Oshawa lose their job, and the whole country loses its mind the next day. But you see, in Oshawa, Trudeau might win that riding. But he knows out here he's not welcome, and we're not going to vote for him. So we can just... You know, there was another Liberal, one who you might not like, but you could actually respect, and he introduced a capital cost allowance for the oil sands that allowed it to flourish, spurred investment, and made it what it is today. But Justin, on the other hand, he's eliminated tax write-offs on exploratory wells. He's implemented a West Coast tanker ban. He doesn't care about tankers from human rights abusing petrostates on the East Coast. But then again, that's going to his donor friends out there, so I guess it's okay. He killed the Northern Gateway pipeline on a whim, a project overwhelmingly supported by the remote Indigenous communities along this line. Guys, now it goes on to you. You take the baton and you guys run with it. I want to leave you with a quote from Margaret Mead, and she said that you should never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. In selfie mode so Justin can understand. I want you to listen to something. Check this out.
From what you've heard here today, my second request, next spring, next fall, we all have an opportunity to make a difference in this province and this country. Get out and vote. Let's vote. Let's vote. Let's vote. We know the difference between right and wrong. We saw those little kids up here, and we don't want to leave them what we're about to leave them. No jobs, a high debt, a bunch of bullshit. We need to provide a good life for these young kids and the futures beyond for all Albertans. Let's band together and make this happen. Last request of everybody. We thought we were going to have about 200 trucks. These companies in this community, the oil and gas industries, helping us out in this rally today, driving through the city of Grande Prairie here, making a statement. We got 600 trucks. Let's do our part. Make our way up to 102nd Street or 100th Avenue, and let's cheer this convoy on. Let's cheer this group on. Build that pipe! Build that pipe! Build that pipe! Build that pipe! Keep the chant going and let's head it up the street.
MC tonight. Let's thank these guys, these local guys that brought us together today.
Thank you guys for coming. It's all of us. We make this thing happen. Let's stick together and keep taking care of each other. We love you all. Get up there and cheer them trucks on, boys.